bring us a little closer for the...
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
So the beneficiaries are the members. In a self-managed super fund, basically the trustee and the members need to be all the same people or represented through a company where they're the company directors and things like that. Okay, so that's sort of the fundamental basic structure. The challenge with super is that if you're in what we call a managed fund, that means that you're getting someone else to look after it, like, you know, the AMP or Westpac or somebody, insurance company or something like that. What they historically charge is about 1.5 to 2.5% of whatever you have in the fund at any particular point in time as their fees. So I always work on the basis that if you had about $100,000 in super, it's actually cheaper to be in a self-managed fund than it is in a managed fund, or at least lying ball, and any dollar over 100 is good in fund. The other major advantage, of course, is that in a self-managed fund, you can have some say in what happens to your super. So you can actually decide to invest it in a project or precious metals or a private company share or something. The only real restrictions is that it can't be invested for your own private or domestic use. So this is where it gets a little challenging to structure things like we're talking about. So you can't buy a house to live in. You can't buy a holiday house that you use. You can't even buy artwork that you hang in your own house, technically. So it's always very around things, of course. However, that's sort of the basic rule. So you can't roll it into a self-managed fund and then spend it on personal use without imposing certain tax obligations. So one of the things that a lot of people are always interested in is that possibly there's a restriction for some people. However, you can have, in a self-managed fund, you can have up to 4 members. So, for example, if you knew 3 other people that had a certain amount in super and collectively you had more than 100,000, then you could actually combine your resources and then set up one fund instead of 4 and take advantage of the costs and the ongoing fee structures and things like that. So just to finish that, in order to set up a fund, depending on how you set it up, if it's individual trustees, it could be we charge $16.50 to manage that whole process, and if you want to buy a property with it, then we set up the corporate trustee as part of that initial upfront, because you must have a company if you want to go and buy property yourself. So if you want to set up you've got 100,000 in super and you want to go and buy an investment property, then you need to have a company act as trustee of your super fund. It's actually not a tax office rule, it's a finance rule. So that's the one-off cost, that's up front. And then ongoing, our fees are something around the sort of $1,750 to $2,000 per annum mark, which is where you can see that at 100,000 it's about one ball, but you have choice and you can do some stuff. So that's sort of just kind of the 101 for those of you who are kind of new to the game. So the challenge to setting up something like we're talking about, where you have a community project where you each have an investment in that project, are 2 things. One is that the project sitting over here, and let's say we used either a company or a private trust or something like that to structure that. The directors and shareholders of this can't be the same as any of those in any of the funds that invested in. So what we would normally do in that case is we'd have a group of people like yourselves who wanted to invest in a particular project. We'd appoint a nominee director to that role. So that director and shareholder would actually hold those shares for the common purpose of the group, which would then allow, say, all of us in this room to actually invest in that project. Okay. So that's where it becomes a bit challenging, but it's easily managed by people like us who can create whatever solution is you need. The other challenge, which I must admit I wasn't 100% aware, was about occupying, you know, the premises.
Yeah, what's the challenge?
Well, technically that's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So hang on, we'll come back to that. So that's the first challenge in setting up a syndicate, is that the syndicate needs to be independently managed from the members of the syndicate, if you like. That's not so hard. The second thing is that the project needs to have, I suppose, what I'll call a profit motive, or at least a cash flow intent. And the reason for that is that the easiest way to stop the auditors of your self-managed super fund from asking questions about how the thing's set up is that, for example, let's say everyone put in $25,000 each out of their super, and it was structured, say, as a 5% investment return. As long as that 5% is returned to the super fund, then generally you'll find that the auditors skip over it. The minute that 5% is not returned, that's when the alarm bells start to ring and they start to delve deeper, and that's what we try to avoid. So I always like to see that whatever the project is, that it has a cash flow motive, so that the project can at least create enough cash flow to pay, let's say, a nominal interest rate back to each of the super funds as part of their investment.
So is that where like people could run lots of workshops and we could create lots of cash flow?
You could grow crops, you could adjust land, you could rent out cabins for holiday, for overnight holidays, whatever it is. That's what I always like to do.
Airbnb, rent out cabins on Airbnb.
Absolutely.
So is this like, say, a group of Sydney restaurateurs saying, oh, we want to own property in Byron so we can go surfing, so we'll get 4 chefs together. We'll buy a farm that's productive and we use the produce in our restaurant. And they've got a self-managed investment.
Yeah, there's some challenges in, they want to go somewhere where they can stay and go surfing. The stay part is the challenge. But again, by managing that process, I'm sure we can get around that problem, but it is a real challenge. So theoretically, a self-managed super fund syndicate should not be made available for the members of the super fund to actually use for their own private use, whether it be for a holiday or whether it be as a whatever. Having said that, like I said, there's always a way around these things. I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll just change your name.
So it could well be that there's, again, just by setting it up properly, I'm sure we can get around that. But I just want you to be aware of the issues that we need to deal with. So, so the question was, well, yeah, I want to be involved in the syndicate, but who's this, Joe Bloggs, who's the director? The reason that Joe Bloggs is there because that person is not involved in any of the other super funds that.
But if you're not living there and you're going there to work, that's technically not using it for your private use.
Yeah, well, again, I'm not fully aware of all of the uses or potential uses of the syndicate property. I know Tom mentioned in his intro that there was a possibility of actually staying on the property. Staying on the property as a part of a course, could be a way around getting that property used.
Or
to live on the property.
Or treating it as I know that universities have different type of permission, or different types of, they get treated differently. Universities really do get treated like their own country. They can do all sorts of things, like you can have multiple occupancy on universities. So, I mean, maybe the self-managed super fund is funding a university or something, which might change the rules completely. I'd have to research it more. But, there's lots of options.
Maybe instead of paying rent to the syndicate, maybe you pay a course fee to attend the course or something. But I just want you to be aware of the basic rules, so that it's a little bit aware. So having a profit motive or a cash flow is important. So in any super fund connected syndicate, I always try to say, well, what are you going to grow on this thing to, or how are you going to use the property to produce cash flow to at least meet holding costs of the property as well as then create some sort of return back to the investors, whatever they may be. So yeah, basically you end up with that there and a series of self-managed super funds. And of course they don't have to be self-managed super funds. But a lot of people have got money in super that they don't really want to leave in the banking system or in the stock market. They want to pull it out and do something a bit more meaningful to them. So this is one way of doing it. But these circles could be just investors as well. It wouldn't have to be self-managed. But it's one way of using super. So the challenge then is to actually say, okay, well, do I have enough, or am I prepared to pay an additional cost, both upfront and ongoing, to allow me to pull 40 grand out of super, for example, which we've done. People have come to me and said, look, I get it. I know I'm going to pay a bit more than I am paying now to Westpac or to AMP. but I am very committed to my strategy, so therefore I want to access it, and I believe that my strategy will then make the fund grow to a point where the fees aren't an issue. So as long as people are aware of it, it's up to you. You need to be aware of why I come up with that figure.
All good.
Does that make sense?
So I'm going to be sending out email and SMS notifications. I'm going to be getting pretty crazy on the email marketing again. Once we've got these things figured out properly.
You're going to do this in Australia?
Yeah, in Australia, yeah. Big time in Australia. And yeah, there's lots of people coming and helping. Like there's another person who said that, "Hi Tom, yeah, I've introduced you to another person, and they've introduced me, and this guy knows how to acquire Crown lands in Australia, and he acquired Crown lands in Perth, or just out on the outskirts of Perth, and a couple of hundred acres." So there's lots of ideas bouncing around, and something's just going to click completely. There's a property at Kyogle that they've been wanting me to go out there for a while and visit them, and they're very big on the Global Village construction set, which is something I'm really passionate about, and that's allowing people to build buildings from, build the 50 industrial machines that are required for us to live this industrial lifestyle that we live right now, and run workshops out there. And so we, to do that, all we need to do is just literally build a bit of, some places where people can sleep for the next, couple of days, and they go and do a workshop for 5 days or whatever, and charge $1,000 or whatever it may be. But we can easily fund a lot of things very easily, very quickly. The only problem with there is I don't have fast enough internet at the moment. Jason's been out there, and then Jason's got a property, 100 acres down in 290 acres, just beautiful Tasmania, and he's ready to go and start building down there on northern Tasmania. So there's lots of options. It's just about building a page that sort of summarizes the offer, and having a form, and then getting everyone all on the right train of thought and aware of what's going to happen or what's possible, and having a place where everyone can talk. And then, it's just all going to take off at some point. But I've been saying it for a while, haven't I? So.
Yeah, I'll just say in the super fund space, if you're setting up a self-managed fund, you can't set it up today and then have the funds available to tomorrow. You need a bit of a lag time, because you actually have to get the funds from where they currently are into your own fund. So we always tell people they need to allow a few months from start to finish.
What's the normal return on an orthodox super fund?
An orthodox super fund really has this as its investment strategy. It has 0% shares, 100% shares, and maybe one in the middle. So it kind of depends on where you sit on that line and what the market does. So supposedly the long-term average is about 8 to 12%, but that would include capital gain, but who knows? We don't support that. That's a place where I'd like to have my money.
So we want to match like 12% at least.
No, not at all. I believe that if you're going to, if these super funds are investing in a project, at the moment they could have that money invested in a term deposit, which is 2%.
Yeah.
So I believe at the moment that a 5% return back to a super fund for a non-bank backed investment is a reasonable return. And I don't think you'll have any question from an auditor to question that rate. That's the only reason. There's no rules. They don't give you figures. I just use that currently as a benchmark. So a few points above the term deposit rates, I think, is a reasonable enough return to stop any queries coming back from the auditors of the self-managed funds.
But what would a normal investor expect?
Well, the stock market is basically our benchmark in terms of super, because that's the only thing they invest in.
Okay. Yeah.
I know that they draw the pretty graphs, and they have the pie graphs of property shares and stuff. They're all shares. You can't invest in real property with most funds. They're just basically property companies. So it's basically the stock market. So whatever the stock market's returning is what those people are foregoing, both plus and minus. Because don't forget, there's been plenty of years recently where the stock market returns have been massively negative. So a secure 5% per annum ongoing return, I think, is more than reasonable. Any other questions?
What sort of guarantees would we have in place? So, if you're putting money into the...
Well, the same as anything, if you've got a superannuation invested, then it's the underlying investment that provides you the security. So, without knowing what that project is, it's impossible to answer that question, but it's the underlying project. So, if there's, you know, $500,000 worth of super fund money accessed through a variety of people that's invested in, you know, real property, then that's your security. Security in the actual asset that underlies the syndicate, and also the business plan that underlies the cash flows. And you may feel that you know is a good investment for your super fund when you've got that as your alternative. That's up to you to decide.
Oops.
Oh, no, do that.
Thanks, Graham.
No worries.
All right, guys, that's pretty much the end. So this is the next offer, and you can really clearly see the features, the benefits, and then mixing the two. So you can see the summary, you can see the end result, and then you can see the day plan on the left hand, on the following page. So this is from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. It's only for 3 people, because I think 3 people's what I can physically help, just sitting there at a computer. And this is going to be on Sunday, on 8th of November. I'm going to be in Australia for another 3 weeks, and so I will run another one for another 3 people at a later date. And the idea is literally, you know, instead of you guys going and speaking to a website designer and trying to set up your business or whatever it may be, it's from $300. You know, I'll stand there. There'll be 2 other people. We'll be creating 3 different offers. And so it's to learn how to create a creative offer with an affiliate program. So that's important. We didn't really cover that yet. That you can be making money with the following day. So you're ready to promote that following day. And so you'll have probably 50 people that you'll speak to and say, hey, can you go and tell other people about this? And you can cause your first. It could be an online workshop. It could be an offline workshop. And so here's just a glimpse of what you can expect. So look at this when you look at this. We'll do look at this when you look at this. So you can see how the first part of it is a feature. Learn how to create an offer, service, or workshop. So that's the feature. So you can create money on it. Okay. So if you want to, have your own welfare system, this is the best way to do it, basically. Follow my proven step-by-step system. So that's the feature and the benefit. This is the benefit. What it means to you. With minimal effort, you can have a business and be proud of and in line with your soul. So whatever that sole purpose might be. Learn the art of recruiting affiliates, so you always have on-demand traffic. Can raise the energy of your network through your unique message. The more you empower your network, the more money you make. Next, final feature, learn how to use the latest technology, the easy way to duplicate your message. So that's the benefit to you. So then I've mixed it around. So benefit first and feature afterwards. Benefit, never live a stressed life ever again because of the feature. You'll be able to create high converting offer pages when you want to. Okay, benefit. Start your path to residual income when you learn about our proven residual income stream. So I mentioned about Bitcoin, and I'm looking up for different MLM Bitcoins. I'm going to be looking at that more. Another residual income stream is ClickFunnels. Okay, when you have people using ClickFunnels and you share it with other people, you earn 30% commission as well. Next one. Benefit, a feeling of belonging because you have learned how to create true, long-lasting value in another human being's life. The ability to create value on demand because you have learned how to be a creator and not a consumer. Okay, so if you focus in your daily habits to just always create, you're always going to be fine. Like, you'll just walk around like a creator. Like, there's always going to be people coming together. There's always business to do. There's always things to do. And that's important. If you can just, in one day, create your own offer, and then a week later create another offer, and you always keep spitting out offers, you're always going to have, there's always things to do. There's always people who will come to you because you're always creating something new. Like the Words of Wisdom workshops. You just don't do it. Do it multiple times. Do a new version of it every week or every month. So the end result of this workshop is for these 3 people an offer page ready to promote, a thank you page, an affiliate tracking system. I will design a little logo for you on the day. And you also get a copy of all course notes so that you can go and teach this workshop that we've just done now to other people. So that's it. So Sunday the 8th of November, just put in your name, phone number there, and that's the registration link that you can go and pay right now. Alrighty, thank you very much, guys. Say again. So you guys will, I will send out SMSs. It's going to prompt you guys to fill in your referral sheets, and it's also going to give you instructions on how you can go and send emails. And then you'll see how the program works. We're doing it anyway.
Okay.
So then,
The third year, 53 against Central. 6, 7 again. Brisbane Capital, 9, 30, 33. Where's Brisbane Capital? I need to swap the next time.
I do.
oh, I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I felt like a squeeze through cracks.
Yeah, hold on. That's right.
We're going to come with
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but after the bit on the building there, I guess. It's just a whole another whole. So yeah, but just ask questions on the first time. Let me know that.
Yes, that's cool.
Where you're at.
There you go. Good. Yeah, you're learning. Yeah, I got those notes taken. Good. You want to do this.
Yeah, that was one.
Yeah, they take some things. The workshops they do.
That's too much. It's too good.
I've got that link set. I did a little bit wrong. It's like some work. I'll change that into here tonight. Yeah, yeah. It's sort of the event you want. Very simple concept.
This is children's cancer.
They're creative.
Oh, yeah, there's a cancer child's, is that charity? We spend like a lot of money.
You sort of see the layer of one side. I think your emotion was no low. Yeah, enough scale that you should be able to have emotion with it. I think also probably having like dynamically adjustable, you know what I mean? Like those tubes with you, so you can track the solenoids and an induction coupling.
Don't need that. All it needs is like 365 and actually talk creating the inertia. Because what it's really doing is the weight
Let's get PVC pumps and bicycle wheel and then build up the frame and wheels.
Nice job on the weekend. I've seen, trouble is I've seen all these like,
Yeah.
and that one like,
That one's
wouldn't work.
Oh, yes. And then by having all the cogs on one side there, it's creating it, putting extra weight on that side. That nutrient elevate every quarter, whatever you want to bring inside.
More training this like
Yeah.
the more of those you had,
More weight.
the more weight on the you probably get more torque if you made one of the big wheels or something.
I reckon some sort of, you know, like a solenoid driven one that moves the pipes on one side of the overbalanced wheel, and so you have some magnetic coupling sensors and some sort of way of transferring electricity while it's rotating, like some sort of consistent magnetic coupling, and not activating deactivate the solenoid as appropriate, so as to push the water weights further on one side and then what I'm getting is this stuff's doable, but there's a lot of disinformation agents on the internet, which is yeah. So there's way to have it.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Take care.
Stuff, so,
I'll send something.
Yeah.
I think couple of computer monitors and monitors. It's probably about $100.
But I'll keep that a go.
I think you can.
Yeah.
No worries.
So you want to fix it up in a day or two, transporting the
I don't think the catch of it, you get it.
Or if I give you the address, I'll just sort of get them while I'm out this way. So much one at Cleveland, and one at Columbia.
Just over here.
Yeah,
I think I about 20 names on that list.
Thing is, there's a way of getting it and see if it's juice.
Yeah, I'll send a few videos to explain what to do next.
No, not much blood, but
I'll do that,
would have heard.
that'll help.
Frighten the crap out of him.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll sit down and do some.
Well, this bank account thing, you guys should be a part of it. Contact me afterwards.
Okay.
Because then that will, you're going to have a good $600 commission or something. So then that's good. Teach you how to close deals and follow up, because that's the same skill to close webinar deals. Because then that will build a relationship, and then we can follow through with the webinar deal. The webinar deal is going to be selling the app system. I'm pitching it all over. And that's what I'm really trying to get you guys to that point soon. So the app's finished now. This is the app. And that would be selling it to their list basically. So they can make an app on anything. It's an e-commerce system.
Gosh, it's an e-commerce.
But and the training and the membership will be teaching them how to set up dropshipping deals to their own e-commerce app. So then they can have lots of people buying that way.
Okay, so it's just an e-commerce app. It's just put everything on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you get the keys and comes.
I know
I'll
where
take
they
it.
are.
Hey?
I know where they are.
Keys or the computer?
It's an e-commerce
No,
app. I've been
Alright.
Sean might be interested in it. So he's wanting to do liver fudge.
No.
What is it?
It's liver. It's a whole range to do with
Just go get you this little piece.
cleansing your liver.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he wants to do an app just based on that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he wants to start. He wants to start drop shipping that sort of stuff. So I think, yeah, I told you he resigned from his job.
Yeah.
I'll put in
So
some
he's,
so
I think he finished at the end of this month. So. Because they had an office move, so they begged him to stay until the office move.
test the juices there, and if it is, I'll go and get the cash and see.
So that actually might benefit John a bit for that.
Yeah, get him along to the next workshop. I'll announce the date of the next workshop. And because I'm also going to bring out an offer that.
Good afternoon, how are you? Wonderful, thank you. Do you have
Bring out an offer that
juicer?
teaches people all this webinar networking.
Please.
And people will make good stuff.
Yeah. That's great.
Okay. All right, thank you. Right.
Thanks, Andrew.
That's all right.
That's not the shed keys.
Hey, can you
On that.
fill in this, Andrew?
That's what I used yesterday.
Yes, we.
We'll just check it with the other set of keys because should be the only one.
Just so you're on the
That was. Oh, yeah,
notification
no,
list.
Oh yeah. No, they haven't got a juicer, so. Okay.
What's your mobile number, Andrew?
Just let me grab 0421.
Yeah.
one situation he can pick up some
Yep.
cash for these people.
Can you wait about an hour or so?
Yeah, no worries.
And the email address?
Andrew J. RG
JRG.
85
Yep.
at gmail.com.
Alright, cool. Alright. Yeah, you'll start getting notifications.
Okay, no worries.
And it'll prompt you to fill in the referrals form.
Yep.
To contact people. It's the dates of the next workshops.
Oh, yeah.
And commission. It'll prompt you to make a filling account.
Yep. So it's mainly for sort of business owners and entrepreneurs. It's
Yeah,
suitable for.
yeah, business owners, accountants, lawyers.
Yep.
You know, it's all the same people, really, but you need to learn how to communicate with them on the internet.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really all sorts of things.
Excuse me, guys. Thank you.
And then, the idea is just to invite them along to an introductory workshop,
Yeah.
which is what this is. Bring them through the sales funnel.
Coming through again. Thanks.
Yourself as well. You're going to do the one-day workshop?
I'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Guys, and that.
Yeah, we've only got one person's registered so far, but I'll announce. Space.
How many guys you got for Sunday?
Sunday, one person.
2.
2? Alright, good. Yeah, cool. Good. But, one more spot.
Got one spot left.
But I will announce another one. I'm going to do 2 before I leave Australia.
Yep.
And that's it. But the whole point is to get everyone talking to each other and referring each other and doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just amazing. Ethereum's about to come through and it's just going to change. Literally.
Because when I've been doing my electrical business, I've sort of thought outside of the square and looked at these grossly inefficient electrical wholesalers and sort of their prices. They're a lot higher than that, like of those on the internet or eBay and that sort of stuff. And it's like the stuff online is all certified as being safe according to Australian standards. So it's like the only difference is the price tag and the brand, the other end of the factory it comes out of, pretty much. But most electricians are like, oh no, go to the wholesaler and buy good songs, you'll be right, mate. Yeah.
Around this area?
No, Rosewood area. Yeah. I do some electrical work on the Gold Coast as well. Yeah, revolutionary power stations. Yeah.
Alrighty.
That's still going.
Yep.